Hello, Theo traders. Today is the 2nd of July, 2024, and I am Gianni DePoce. I want to take you through a few really important charts right now as the stock market seems on the cusp of hitting a new all-time high. We're seeing nice bids across the board during this holiday week. As a reminder, markets will close early tomorrow on Wednesday, July 3rd at 1 p.m. Eastern, and they'll be closed completely on Thursday, July 4th in observance of Independence Day in the United States. So you're seeing the S&P 500 coming off a nice low yesterday. We were choppy a bit to start the day, but we continue to consolidate in a really tight manner near the all-time highs. And as a rule, that is bullish price action. Now, I've been on the record saying that I think we are in the sucker phase of this rally. I'm still bullish. I'm still looking for new all-time highs. In fact, I'm looking for the S&P 500 to rally as high as 5,800, 6,000 before completing a high of significance. But there are some things moving around underneath the surface of the market that are somewhat concerning. The bond market sell-off is one of those. The U.S. dollar continues to be strong, which is indicative of global capital seeking refuge in the safety of dollar-denominated assets. But the big thing for me, I'm going to jump over to the NASDAQ here and kind of loop that in with what's happening in the bond market, is that we know that tech has struggled in the last few years whenever interest rates have begun to rise rapidly. And we're kind of seeing that now after last week's breakdown in the bond market, which followed a relatively muted inflation report. Now, even though markets are on holiday this week, we come back on Friday with a really important labor report. And if the labor market continues to show resiliency, I don't think the odds of rate cuts are going to increase. Right now, it's still a toss-up between September and November in terms of the first potential rate cut. But the good news in the immediate term is that the NASDAQ continues to lead to the upside, and we're gunning for the highest weekly or the highest daily close in history today. So that is potentially a very bullish signal as the NASDAQ seeks to resolve higher from this range. Now I'm going to jump over to the Dow Jones because we're in a situation here where the Dow Jones needs to make a new all-time high. It's new all-time highs or bust for the Dow. The fact that it's been lagging is okay for now, but we usually see the Dow peak last whenever a high of significance forms. So I'm okay with the NASDAQ and the S&P leading now, but what I'm going to be looking out for in the coming weeks and months is a situation where the NASDAQ peaks and then the Dow continues to rally to new all-time highs. I think that's going to be indicative of some greater problems building underneath the surface of the market. But if you take a look at chips, the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index seeing a nice bid. I'm actually pretty neutral on NVIDIA right now. I think the best thing, as I've commented before, is a prolonged consolidation near the all-time highs and kind of build a new base from which a new rally can be attempted. But I like the price action that we're seeing in Micron. Could be a nice risk reward entry at current price levels with we have an upside target in the 165 area. Been long Amkor Technology, one of my favorite chip setups right now. And of course, Advanced Micro Devices trying to find its footing here. I think today may be the day. But if we, kind of take a look across the entire tech sector, Apple at new all-time highs, that's hardly a bearish signal. We have an upside target in Apple in the 250, 260 area. Take a look at Google on the precipice of a new all-time high. I have a target on Google in the 218 area. Microsoft is within pennies of its upside target that I shared months ago in the 460 area. It could probably go even higher than that. Netflix coiling near the highs. The only Magnificent Seven stock that I'm a little skeptical about right now is Meta, but it seems to be building a base in an ascending triangle here. Could provide an opportunity for some longs in the not so distant future. Amazon, we shared a long idea on that a couple weeks ago that is continuing to work on the upside. Now, I do want to take a look at Tesla here. Big moves in Tesla, up about 9%. We actually shared a swing trade long idea in the TheoTRADE chat room yesterday on July 1st. Got in a little bit below Monday's closing price, and then we obviously gapped up and have been surging higher ever since today here on Tuesday. And that came after some mixed reports with respect to the electrical automaker. You know, some people like to slice it as bullish, bearish. I prefer to focus on the price action. Got a target of 265 on Tesla. It's doing exactly what I want it to do right here, right now. Take a look at some other tech names that we've been discussing. Supermicro continues to consolidate in this descending this descending triangle continuation pattern. If it starts to take out those highs from June, look for it to rip higher. Still have a position here in Vico Instruments. It's rising within an ascending channel now, and I still own the stock. Sold half of the position after it hit our upside target in the $48 area. This is the type of thing that I like to see in a bull trend. A stock rising within an ascending price channel. I like to own stocks in ascending channels and bull trends. I don't really like to buy stocks in ascending channels and bull trends. Take a look at Arista Networks, another large cap tech name. So when people say, oh, you know, it's just a few names driving this bull market in tech, I don't think that's exactly accurate. You can even take a look at the trade desk, which has been a position we've had long for members in the chat room, going all the way back to March when it was trading around 75, 76 bucks. And it looks like it wants to continue even higher from there. We did get a downgrade from CrowdStrike. Piper Sandler downgraded the stock this morning. That doesn't really bother me. I don't really put too much weighting in analyst ratings. I'd rather focus on my own technical and cyclical and macroeconomic analysis to make decisions. And I think that's a really important thing for any aspiring trader or investor to take control of their financial destiny, is to become your own center of focus, your own center of gravity, so to speak, with respect to decision making in the market. So, you know, no matter how you slice it, tech still looks good to me. You guys know that I'm a big biotech bull, seeing some selling on that front today in IBB and XBI. I'm not really too worried about that, as we are still not far from a potential resolution from a very bullish price pattern. Want to take a look at precious metals here. It's a mixed tape, silver up, gold down. Some of the names that we've had on the books are holding up relatively well. Anglo Gold, Ashanti consolidating near the highs of an ascending triangle formation, and Agnico Eagle Mines, you know, kind of in some sideways motion here. I mentioned bonds earlier in this video. You are seeing duration lead to the upside on a percentage basis, but it looks like we broke below the ascending price channel in this greater downtrend, which lends itself to the probability of a downward resolution. So, like I said, this Friday's labor report will be very important in terms of what happens in the bond market. And if bonds can find a higher low here, then I think that you'll continue to see tech drive the market higher. Otherwise, we'll look for a rotation potentially into biotech. You know, I've been watching the energy market here, crude oil rallying to a multi-month high, but seeing some selling. I'm largely unimpressed with what's happening in the energy equity space right now. XLE, XOP are struggling a little bit. XOP is outperforming a bit right now. It's up on the day slightly, but still really nothing all that exciting. I'm definitely intrigued with what's going on in the consumer discretionary space. This is not the type of price action you would see if we were about to start a recession next week or next month or what have you. Big breakout in XLY here. A lot of that has to do with Amazon, which we already discussed. We're bullish on, but XLY, a major weighting in that space. You still have names like Abercrombie and Fitch postured in a bullish manner. I like Boot Barn Holdings. We've had a position on that really close to our upside target in the 136 area for this stock. So I think the prospects for consumer discretionary are pretty good. I'm not as optimistic when it comes to the home building sector after that huge miss on new home sales a couple weeks ago and the prospect for higher rates. I think we have a really dangerous situation mounting in the home building sector. You have a lower high here and a lower low now. Unless this was a false breakdown, I think home builders have some real issues that should be taken seriously, and that's probably going to permeate into the REIT space. XLRE and VNQ not really looking all that exciting from my vantage point. And I want to wrap up this video by looking at cryptocurrencies. Have a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum coming off pretty strong weekends, but honestly, not that impressive to start that week here. You know, you have names like Mara, which saw a nice bid yesterday, stalling out at resistance. MicroStrategy continues to fade lower, has some technical issues. Hut 8 Mining showing some relative strength in the space, however, and I think this is a potential new leader coming out in the crypto space. But I still like Robinhood as well as kind of a hybrid between traditional finance and innovative finance. And I think the whole idea, the whole theme of increased trading um, as a source of revenue for financials is significant. I'm stocking a position here in the Intercontinental Exchange, ICE. Looks like we're on the precipice of a breakout here, and that could take you up to new highs in this stock. So that takes care of what I wanted to review with you today. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the TheoTRADE chat room.